With Iruma and his classmates getting more and more ridiculous with their power levels, I think it's finally time to scale the top 10 strongest students in Iruma. Now, obviously this doesn't include the students from outside of Babyls, simply because we just don't know enough about them. There are specific requirements that I went through to decide on these rankings and why one ranks above the other, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Keep in mind that this list is not strictly about fighting prowess, since Iruma is a lot more than just a typical battle shonen. Anyway, without any further ado, let's start with number 10, Ranky Runaway Lomiere. Okay guys, chill, I know. This guy is ranked E and he competed with Amori herself, but we have simply not seen enough of him outside of his bloodline magic, which makes his overall magic abilities hard to judge or put above others in the series. I'm sure if we see more of him and his powers, he'll rank a lot higher on this list. His bloodline magic is very suited to him and his desires, and as we know, desires play a major factor in how powerful characters in Iruma-Kun can be. With his bloodline magic attention, he can, as you expect, direct anyone's attention towards himself. He managed to not only compete with Amori for the title of Student Council President, but save everyone at the water theme park. He also used this power and his interesting personality to lead his class to victory in the music festival. This is more than enough reason for Runaway to make the top 10 list. Number 9. Rank Dalef Agares Piquero. Yes, this guy might be a background character compared to the others in the Misfit class, but his powers and abilities are nothing to sniff at. His bloodline magic carries him a lot in this list. Labelled My Area, he can manipulate anything he perceives as the ground. This may seem, well, boring, but it's a very impressive power, as he can not only use it to manipulate the ground, but anything connected to it, as he managed to control the growth of the soil and trees together to act as his bed. After his training for the Harvest Festival, he learned to perceive water as the ground, meaning that with enough training, he could learn to manipulate anything, which would put him a lot higher on this list. Now, with all of this considered, why isn't he ranked even higher? Well, it's obvious. Outside of his bloodline magic, he really isn't all that versatile compared to other characters when it comes to other magic, other than his immense beauty, of course. Number 8. Rank Dalef Person Soy. Now, this won't be much of a surprise to you guys who are actually caught up with the manga. Person suffers from a lot of the same issues as Agarus, not being very versatile with magic outside of his bloodline, but his bloodline magic is so ridiculous that I can't help but rank him above Agarus. His bloodline magic, anti-recognition, makes it so he can't be noticed and dissipates if he receives too much attention. This may seem, well, average, but Person has shown the level that bloodline magic can evolve to with enough training and experience. Person looks like he's teleporting to others when he disappears, and not only that, but in the music festival, he managed to control his power perfectly as he chose to appear in front of the entire school, meaning that he can control when he disappears and when he appears, making his power a lot more powerful. Even with all of this, it wouldn't be enough to rank him so high on this list, if not for the Heartbreaker arc, where he successfully fools multiple teachers, hiding not only himself but his fellow Kohai. So, with all of this, who ranks above him? Number 7. Rank Dalef Garp Goemon. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot this guy existed, but his true power is ridiculous. Forgetting his bloodline magic altogether, just from seeing his true face can make you go completely insane. I mean, even a teacher got really worried and was forced to use advanced magic just to keep it under wraps. A literal deity had to grant him the power to cover his face properly, as his true face is too dangerous. The students he was protecting were at risk of PTSD just from seeing a glimpse of it. This may seem busted, but it has the obvious downside of making him useless when he fights alongside his allies. But he's also one of the most capable fighters in the Misfit class, using his bloodline magic Windblade to destroy his enemies. In the Harvest Festival, he is shown to be capable of beating his enemies while saving his allies at the same time, due to his specialized training. Honestly, if he wasn't such a background character, he could move up a spot, but due to us not seeing his magic outside of his fighting abilities, he just isn't as versatile as some of the other characters. To be completely honest, his true face is a lot more dangerous than his bloodline magic, which despite his training is still pretty mediocre when compared to others on this list. A prime example being number 6. Rank Dalef Crokel Keruri. Keruri makes this list for very obvious reasons. Not only is her bloodline magic Ice Facade incredibly strong as it allows her to adjust the temperature of water to freezing temperatures, but it's also not as simple as it seems. This lets her cool the very water that floats on our atmosphere, akin to Hitsugaya Toshiro from Bleach. She's shown to be extremely capable with her bloodline abilities, using them for both offense and defense. But the primary reason she makes this list is because even without bloodline magic, she'd still be a force to be reckoned with. Blessed with incredible beauty, she was able to become an Everdoll and recently took it to a level I could have never have expected. She uses it to bend magical beasts to her will, meaning that she literally emulated Kame Kamui's bloodline magic with her beauty alone. And speaking of familiars, she has not one but 2 of them. This is nearly unprecedented, especially for her age, but she controls them both with ease after her training. So putting her this high on this list It was an easy decision. Number 5. Rank Dalef Valak Clara. Yes, coming in at number 5 is one of Iruma's soulmates. Ah, chill, we all know Amory is better. Yeah, I'm just trying to cause drama at this point. Anyway, Clara is hard to rank. She's extraordinarily odd and is just so unpredictable, so what made me put her this high? Well, her Bloodline Magic is possibly the most insane in the entire series. She can summon almost anything. It seems as though it has no limit. She can make intricate maps, summon food, and anything she desires. Recently, she became like Dorothy Unsworth from Black Clover, summoning her own dimension. And just like Dorothy, it has an exhausting effect if you stay in her world for too long. Iruma's ring was drained of nearly all of its power, which has Sullivan levels of mana inside, so yeah, honestly, it was hard not to put her higher. She manages to drag Iruma into her world with her new power of stealth, which lets her sneak up on anyone, including teachers like Rain Sensor. She's able to do this thanks to her seduction? Clara's unpredictability may be a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, as when it comes to raw magic and versatility, she isn't nearly as high as others on this list, including number 4, Rank Dalef Sabnok Sabro. Now, in all honesty, this guy was nearly number 3 on my list, purely because of how broken his evil phase / true abilities really are. And if this list was based on pure fighting ability, that is definitely where he'd rank. I mean, most of his powers are directly related to it. Number 1, he has an incredibly tough skin that's capable of even blocking blades. Number 2, his actual stamina and muscular power are above any of the other misfits, as he stayed up for days on end in the Harvest Festival and fought the entire time. Number 3, his Bloodline Magic weapon creation. It does exactly what you'd expect. He can create weapons of the material he bites, but he showed its true power against Atari. He finally unleashed his evil phase, which is just outrageous and what nearly put him even higher on this list. Whilst in this state, all of the wounds and pain he inflicts with his weapons are amplified immensely and transferred back to him into pleasure. The smallest scratch can make demons go completely insane and die from the shock. The weapons the Sabnok family creates are the most powerful and lethal in the entire demon world. He managed to fight Atari as an equal, and if not for this guy being such a freak and enjoying the pain, he would have won easily against most of the teachers in Babyls. Sabro is also intelligent and takes his studies very seriously, so his magic abilities outside of his bloodline are also very impressive. All of this makes him an easy pick for number 4, but he isn't quite up to the same level as our number 3 pick, Ranki Suzuki Iruma. That's right, the man, the myth, the legend, best boy and girl himself. Our main protagonist comes in at number 3. Now, why does this guy rank above the monster that is Sabnok Sabro? Because overall, Iruma has, well, everything. Iruma is, of course, with Alicred, very good with magic. Alicred stated recently how he's gotten better. He can seemingly use any available magic with no issues, and more intricate magic like Fractal to levitate himself and others, recently using it to a new level to pin Shida to a wall. And soon he's going to be able to use all of this variable magic without even speaking, thanks to his recent training with Opera. His human blood can heal all of demonkind, and he can dodge almost any attack or anything that poses a threat to him. His archery has reached the level that it's comparable to Bachiko, a candidate for the 13 crowns. And not just that, she was even recommended for Demon King. He isn't quite at her level yet though, but Robin straight up thought that Iruma was Bachiko in the Heartbreaker arc. As I briefly mentioned, he also fought 1v1 versus Shida and caught her off guard on multiple occasions. Yes, she was holding back, but so was he to avoid hurting her. His ability to sense danger is also capable of developing bloodline-like abilities, as he showed recently when he instinctively knew to protect the princess, something that no other high-ranked demon could see coming. Now, I can keep talking about the abundant amount of abilities and powers Iruma possesses, but you guys should know all of this already if you've watched my power scaling video on Iruma. So it's time to tell you guys who ranks above our main protagonist. Number 2, rank he Asmodeus Alice. Being Iruma's partner in many situations, as you'd expect, Asmodeus has incredible magic abilities. He was labelled as the freshman representative when he joined Babyls, scoring highest on all exams, which obviously includes magic. He can seemingly do anything and is insanely versatile with magic, scoring constant A's in his classes and teaching Iruma all about it. So he's just as versatile as Iruma, but his fighting abilities are on another level compared to him, being the strongest by far in this regard, with only our number 4 on this list, Sabnok Sabro, coming close from the Misfit class. Pretty much every attribute he has is S tier, and all of this is ignoring his evil cycle, which is completely insane, which he used to destroy 2 of the strongest students in the Harvest Festival. I mean, I can't go into too much detail with it because it's just only been seen once and it didn't last too long, but all all of his abilities were significantly enhanced, and it was said to be one of the most unique evil cycles ever. He destroyed everything in his path while dancing around elegantly. He recently fought a teacher 1v1 and evolved his fire magic even further, and it was even revealed that Asmodeus' blood magic is not fire magic. Now, I do want to make a full video explaining what his bloodline magic could possibly be, but even without knowing what it is, it still plays a major factor into his ranking, as he manages to match Iruma's versatility in magic and Sabro's fighting ability without even using his bloodline magic. He evolved his flames to blue, and as we know, blue is always a sign of perfect mastery in anime. This flame engulfs everything and absorbs other fire magic to become many times stronger, making his firepower above a teacher who specializes in fire magic. This easily makes him number 2 on my list, and he could possibly be number 1 based on what his bloodline magic could be. But let's be honest, we all know who truly deserves that position. Number 1, Vank-Vav Azazel Amory. Amory is easily number 1 on this list. She's the end goal for our main protagonist Iruma wanted to eventually stand by her side. She's pretty much set all of the benchmarks in the series regarding records at Babyls. In normal magic abilities, she's a cut above the rest. As you'd expect from her size, she's got insane physical strength, breaking stone walls and beating down huge monsters with ease. She was the record holder in the Harvest Festival, comfortably winning by just annihilating any monster that came into her path. She literally did not stop fighting. Even Sabro got exhausted, and he's the physically strongest in the Misfit class. She won with 59,000 points, whereas Sabro only got 45,000, and Urubus, with outside help and tricks, was still beaten by her, as he managed 58,000, and Amory just beat this with raw power alone. The most impressive part of all of this is the person whose record she broke, Balam, who was a master of animals and magical beasts, plants, etc., making him perfect for the Harvest Festival. So he would have used more intricate means to gain his score, but Amory just used their Black Air Force energy and fought her way to the top. She's already mastered Rebel magic, as she showed against the magical beast Panther Rat, which is a rare ability for demons, as the Misfit class have only just started to learn how to use it thanks to Opera. But she managed to learn all on her own. Before even using her bloodline magic, she was fighting as an almost equal to Opera. Obviously he was holding back, but he had full faith in her abilities, proving why she is indeed the strongest student. But even with all of this, is a major reason why she is number 1 on this list, and that's of course her bloodline magic, Romanticist. This bloodline magic is just absurd. You receive more power the more you believe in yourself and your power. It has the drawback of potentially making the user weaker if they're afraid of their opponent, but Amory has possibly the strongest will in the entire series, with the strongest desires to the point where even Iruma admires her more than anyone else. She destroys the magical beast with relative ease, impressing the likes of Opera with her immense power and ability to control her bloodline magic to such an extent considering her young age. As long as she believes in herself, she's unstoppable whilst in this state, being immune to poison and seemingly any attacks. Amory is the ideal demon, having the most beautiful wings, a high rank at such a young age, and desires that run extremely deep and nothing will stand in her way. Honestly, I'd love to do a full video on Amory because there's just too much to talk about regarding her. So whilst this list may be controversial, the number 1 spot certainly is not. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of this video. I think I briefly mentioned on a community post that I am sorry that this video was delayed. It's a longer video than I usually do, and not just that, I actually changed the list multiple times because I was second guessing myself. If this list was genuinely based on just who would beat who, it would be a much easier list to make, but I decided to make it a bit more interesting because, as I mentioned at the start of the video, Iruma's a lot more than just a battle manga. This list was actually based on 3 categories, one of them being abilities. That means basically magic versatility and just unique powers they have, like Garp Goemon, for example, having his true face. Second was their rank. I don't like to use ranks as like a power scaling system like Dragon Ball, but it does play a factor because the higher you rank, the more power you have. And third is obviously bloodline magic. The only person who this didn't apply to was Iruma, which despite me kind of theorizing they might have bloodline magic, it kind of didn't apply to him, so I had to use different measurements to actually rank him. But yeah, I went through a lot of time to try and put together this list, and if you guys disagree, please let me know why, and I'll try to explain my viewpoint. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll be a bit fast with the next upload.